Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna talk about farming on higher steps of VR. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you need the content. So, farming on steps beyond 100 is a little bit more taxing on your account. You're gonna have to need some good formations, weapons, supporters, etc. And of course, the specific of each boss are gonna make the builds different, but basically you can always rely on one busted attacker to do all the carrying. And I'm gonna show you just that. So we're farming on 390. Honestly, the first month or so, I was excited and I tried to advance as much as I could, but when I reached the point when I received 2,000 coins, now I just farm. I do 2 runs a day, and that's it, because that's all I need to grab all the coins. So yeah, that's some resources that I'm skipping, but it is okay. It is okay. So let me show you what you want to do. First of all, you want to equip formations that give you penetration. Nope, not at others. It's gonna be on attack. The formations of penetration are on the attack category. So yeah, we can see penetration over here. So which formation you select obviously depends on your specific group. If you have suppressed save characters, if you have range attackers, melee attackers, it really depends on the specifics. So things like machine penetration, human penetration, demon penetration is not that big usually, but when we start to go by color, then we get bigger buffs. I mean, penetration against human type targets increased by 80%. Also, the target one is gonna benefit you more. So, which ones I'm using right now? I'm using Resounding Requiem, which give me penetration against demon type enemies by 8%. Okay, it is decent enough. It is almost at 10%. It's nice. Then Fuma Kotaro's Day Off, penetration of range attacks increased by 10%. That's huge. And my main attacker is a range attacker. And lastly, penetration of protect type characters increased by 12%. Huge. Onsen Mansion in Flames. So, if you notice, these are really difficult formations to get for most people because they have limited supporters, seasonal supporters that you don't get unless you buy the pack, because the supporters giveaways don't repeat. And then we have this one, which was I don't remember which anniversary, but this supporter was given on an anniversary, and this was character release, and this is limited. So yeah, that's to be expected for penetration formations. That's why it is not such a bad idea, even though the value is low on the banner, to roll on the select gacha that we have right now. You do it for the formations. Like the one I just show you was 2 of these coming that banner. So yeah, that's the reason why we roll on those. So of course they're gonna be the more F2P friendly formations like this one. This one gives you penetration, and it's either F2P supporters or permanent supporters. So it's not that bad. Not always it's gonna be super pay to win. For example, oh, look at this. Yet again, these 2 for penetration at a 10%. Yeah. And this one over here, character release, limited supporter, permanent supporter, F2P supporter, yeah. Seasonal supporter and 2 permanent supporters. So I hope that you have a good enough account so that you are able to grab these ones, because basically those are the ones that you want. In case you don't have the penetration, you may want to equip, yeah, the Name of Fuma. The Name of Fuma is going to give you a ton of damage reduction. For sure, it is a good option, but it's not the only option. You can also equip just raw damage. I mean, right now the best damage dealer is not a melee attacker, so I wouldn't use this, but this is an option. Even though you take more damage, you also deal a huge amount of damage. So for those spinel enthusiasts, you may use the Canyon Warrior and the Fortune Teller. So yeah, try to go for penetration. If not, you go for damage reduction, and if not, you go for damage increase. That's the way to go. Then, let's see. I'm going to heal myself just a little bit, and I'm gonna show you. So, obviously, the busted attacker that we have right now is gonna be Sora. Sora is probably the best attacker in the game as of the time of recording. And for that, we're gonna use the renewal weapon. If you don't have this, you can use another weapon for Sora, or you can use another busted attacker like Spinel. Spinel is actually F2P because you just need to grab the BR weapon to be able to have an amazing damage. So of course, equip the best Magatemas that you have, the best weapons. These ones are 5 out of 5 and plus 15, as you can see. Perfect damage increase against demons. And over here, I'm using Celestial Fox because this is the busted skill that deals a ton of damage for Sora. Chosen just because it activates on the main, and this one because it activates on mixed builds. Then I am using Misaki on the main because I want to be able to help my teammates in case they receive too much damage. But if you don't care about that, you can just change this one for something more aggressive. Perhaps, which would be a good option? On the main, on the main for green, it is an excellent option to equip Sora. She's super good. You can also equip, if you want to go red, against this specific enemy in particular, you can equip Fuyutsuki. I prefer to don't wait to have my whole damage, so that's what I use Yukina instead. So there's plenty of options depending on what you want to prioritize. If you feel uncomfortable about your HP recovery, you can just use Kurenai. She gives a ton of damage and HP recovery, so that's nice. So yeah, it really depends a bit on what you want to do and the order as well. This is just an example. It is not necessarily what you want to use. Stats of the customs, stat training. Let's increase that a little bit. And now, I am using Lapis. Why Lapis? At this stage, one hit can be devastating. And I need a taunter to keep the enemies away from my main attacker. And that taunter needs to survive. So I'm using Lapis because she's an excellent healer. And just by equipping good defensive supporters, she can survive. So I have Shikigiri because I'm going to use the classic combo Anero's Momochi weapon to increase my damage output. I have whatever damage increase against demons with whatever element, honestly, whatever Magatama on the sub slot, whatever weapon on the sub slot, but remember, go with the strongest equipment that you have. Then, Piercing Dash for healing, Gem Support for healing, and Moral Boost to increase defense even further. Then I have Mirabelle to enhance the damage of Sora. But if you don't have that, you may use something different. Let's see. Like, what would be good? I mean, limited, yeah, Azusa, but nonetheless, it increases the penetration of your allies, human allies, Sora. So it would be good to equip this, even though you may not have it because it's limited. But another option for increasing the performance of your team. Honestly, there's few options on blue. That's the issue. Let me check. Is there something that is not limited that would help out your team? I think not. So equip whatever you want. In my case, I would equip Arabella if I didn't have the limited Mirabelle. Just increase damage output. Then, Nana, God, Nana is such a good support. It gives a huge amount of damage reduction. And it's pretty free. Just equip this on a blue character and that's it. And lastly, of course, an arrows to guarantee the Momochi weapon effect. Stats of the customs, stat training, of course this is Lapis, obviously she's gonna be maxed out. And then we have Lina over here. I selected Lina not because I wanted, I was using previously Phantasma, but I adjusted the build because I put the protect penetration. And since these two are protect and Phantasma is not, she was not going to receive the buff. So instead I put Lina. Why? Because I needed someone who is main green and it's competent on main green. So I put the limited weapon because of the extra penetration. Honestly, it's not that it's a good weapon, it's just the extra penetration that works. But if you don't have it, just equip whatever. Honestly, the VR weapon is fine, the PvP weapon is fine, whatever is fine. And then damage increase, fire element, whatever element on the subslot, whatever Magatamas, whatever weapon. Just get the best gear that you have. Then Coral Sword, because this gets the penetration thanks to the weapon. And it's because I have a full green build. Then Cherry Blossom Frenzy and Blinding Storm. I'm using this basically because of the multi-hits, because of the range attacks, range damage that it provides. Because I need to deal as much range damage as possible because of the extra penetration that I have on range damage. Then, specifically for this boss, you need to equip Core Phantasma if you're going to go to higher steps. It is possible to do builds without Core Phantasma? Yes, actually yes. But the more, the higher you're on the steps, the more taxing it is and the more difficult it is just to obliterate this boss. I mean, honestly, Ragnarok is able to do it pretty easily, but I'm not using Ragnarok right now, so I'm just going to abuse Core Phantasma. Then we have White Knight Asagi because she gives damage reduction and damage increase against demons. Pretty generic and pretty good. And then we have Corporate Warrior Ingrid because of the generic damage reduction against four demon type characters. I have the option to put a Hisui, which is non-limited and gives 40% against the boss. But this specific boss has minions. That's why I want the generic option. If you have the limited Onisaki Kirara card to release Onisaki Kirara, this one is also a viable option. So you might as well. Stats of the customs, stat training, and now let's do a run. I just did the previous one under a minute. Thanks to all the adjustments that I did. I wasn't for the whole week, but now after the adjustments, it's working. It's working pretty well. Well, until there is extra penetration on or extra HP. Okay, good. I'm just going to use Celestial Fox. And then I'm gonna use the ultimate. And let's see that HP. No, I don't need to use the heal just yet. Oof. That immunity is pretty bad. And I don't think this particular run is going to clear the stage under a minute. I'll just show you the previous run so that you know that I have done this before. Or at least at this kind of stage. But yeah, I'm gonna do a couple more runs just to see if I can fish for the right stage effects that allow me to clear this under a minute. Yeah. It really depends on the stage effects. And if I avoid boss HP increase and protect damage reduction, then it's pretty doable. Done. And just one more. There. Nice. Oof. Lapis, careful there. So, before I continue, maybe around here. Yeah. So, I even have the skip button ready. So, it is doable? Yes. Pretty doable. Maybe I could go for a more offensive supporter over here. I hope that she doesn't die. You have to measure things out to see how much damage you can take. Remember that I have my awakening skills maxed out. That's why I have an easy time with this. Oof! Oof! The difference! Even though it has HP increase, the difference between blue protect protect damage reduction and no damage reduction. God, it is a completely different stage. Okay, good. I'll just do this one. Come on. Yeah. Let's see. I haven't used the ulti. Oof! Oof! Yeah. Doable. So I know that this is not for everyone, and it's fine, honestly. Don't push yourself beyond what you can do. Doing this takes a long time. You don't know how insufferable it was to do the first 20, not even 30, 20 steps at the very beginning of the game. Trust me, it was hellish. Well, at the very beginning of the VR mode. But with time, little by little, you will be able to increase your account's performance. And honestly, a ton of power doesn't come from the supporters. Yeah, I admit that there's power within the supporters, sure. But the most effective thing that you can do is max out your awakenings. Work little by little, level up all your characters simultaneously. I mean, you can have like a handful of good characters max level, but all the other ones level them up simultaneously. There's more than enough points for you to max out all your skills. You saw that I have spare points, and I'm not going to be able to, or will I? Will I be able to clear this? We'll see. Because I'm dealing good damage, even though it has protect damage reduction. Oh no! Heal. Woof! For a moment, Lapis was about to be eliminated. No. We don't want that. Lapis is the taunter. A very important piece in our composition. Oof. And now she's gone. But even so, will I be able to deal? No, I won't. I was this close. But, I mean, not every run has to be the same. And it won't. But on average, I can deal with this on a timely manner, which is more than enough. And another tip, super important. The fact that I have all my characters on the same color makes this way easier. I know that not always you will be able to do a monocolor team, because sometimes you want a specific trace. As I told you, Phantasma is really good for this stage, but the best damage dealer is Sora, and a pretty good anchor is Lapis. So I just have to remove Phantasma and go with Mono Blue. and it's giving me pretty good results. So try to use mono compositions. I have already done a couple videos about pure color builds for, or well, single color builds for assist, for protect, for suppress on VR, and you can just adjust depending on the situations and try to look. I do encourage you to do your own compositions, and please share them in the comment sections. I would like to know which kind of compositions you use, which kind of synergies you exploit, because it is super good to use Ragnarok, and Ragnarok is green. So you can do a mono green with Ragnarok, Felicia, now that she's a great attacker, and let's see. Um, Depending on what you want to do with Ragnarok, she can be either a main attacker or she can be the buffer with the Momochi weapon. But for that, you need to go blue and use the Pride and a Rose Momochi combo. But if you don't, if you use these two as main attackers, who would be a good option for blue debuffing? Let me check. Momochi would be a pretty decent option, though she is a little bit frail. Uh, Emily is a great option as a buffer or debuffer, but she doesn't deal enough damage on BR. But I think if you have Momochi's weapons for LAN, you can pilot LAN and you can deal up. I mean, you can just inflict a ton of debuffs. Or you can payload Ragnar just to keep control over the enemy. Depends on the approach. So yeah, it really depends on what you want to do. Just be sure to exploit every aspect of your account. The formations, the supporters, the magatamas, the character synergies, the character colors, traits, everything at your disposal. So, anyways, please share your compositions in the comments. Let me know if you find this useful, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!